Welcome back, everybody, to episode 47 of the...
I don't even know what number we're on.
It might be like 40. Who knows? We're coming close to 50. But
yeah,
in this episode, we don't really have any answers, but we're just going to do a little reflection on how this whole thing, when you say this whole thing, this whole health thing, COVID-19, how it's affecting business and what it's like kind of as two people that are trying to build something both together and separately, how it's affecting that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a little bit scary. And I think for the past 11 years, everyone's just taken for granted that things are good.
Yeah. We've been in a pretty good place economically.
Right.
And moving trending in the right direction for the most part.
Yeah.
And like you said, taking it for granted a little bit. And this has totally shaken everyone's world. And it's crazy how fast it's changed.
Yes.
Like I'm thinking about continue to get emails about how people are addressing these things. But I'm thinking about a week ago, like having a staff meeting with our team addressing things that are totally now pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because of what's happened.
And on the 1017 side, going from a spot where, well, number one, it's a little more clearly defined for Talking Waters in what they can and can't do, right? And what they'll have to do.
Yeah.
Right? To go forward.
Now it is. As of pretty much last night,
yeah.
Government or the governor's address.
Right. On the 1017 side, it's more all of our clients, not all of them, but most, like some of them are like in holding pattern. Whoa, we don't know where all the pieces are. We don't know like how to handle this thing yet or what to do because it's totally uncharted waters.
And how long it'll last. And so, you know, I feel that not necessarily on the money side yet, but just in the anxiety and the what if of, 6 months, I'm leaving my job and this thing happens. Thank God it happened now and not 6 months from now. At least I'll have a better idea of how to survive, later. Yep.
But, we have one client that's larger, that's completely locked down everything in their business. They have to, given the nature of the business, and to completely lock it down. And all of the kind of initiatives we were working on, through 1017 and them totally got put on hold. I mean, just, totally out of their mind to the point where, they're just trying to get through day to day.
Right. Which is the case for a lot of businesses.
Yeah. And so it puts me in a position to think about,
all right,
what's the short-term solution? Don't necessarily need one. I'm lucky with that for short term, but there's got to be a long-term one.
Yeah.
And
navigating that and figuring out, okay,
right.
Where can I find some stability?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Because just last week, last week, approached by a couple different people or organizations saying, hey, we want some work, and feeling almost a little bit too entitled. Like, like trying to build too perfect of a client list and all of that.
You were?
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah. I mean,
like you were turning
had more
away
leverage,
people?
had more leverage to say like, we really want to do the work we want to do because there's so much work out there. Right.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden that's flipped where would I answer it differently? Probably not for those particular questions, but, in September, if you ask me again, it might be a different answer.
Sometimes you don't have the liberty to just say, yeah.
Right.
You have to just sometimes take the work.
Right.
That's tough. I feel like we should talk about, though, the opportunities there are for businesses right now when it comes to marketing themselves.
Totally.
And because I agree that it's like shaking everybody up to the point where they don't know what to do, but there is also like an opportunity to share, depending on industry.
It's a good point.
Take some action.
Yeah. And so what people are looking...
Because what's happening right now, like literally what's happening with people, where we talked about this earlier, we're always talking about customers' attention and where it's falling. And what are people doing right now? They literally are glued to their devices, looking for more information that they can like educate themselves around what to do.
Exactly. And
social media is crazy right now.
Social media is absolutely insane. And both for good and bad.
Yeah.
There are people out there slapping up ridiculous information, which was always true before,
Which
but
they might regret.
yeah, but and putting out opinion pieces that
Yeah.
I think are negative and very political. But people are yearning for, because I think what exists today, we're in this weird state where national media and nationwide information used to be the most trustworthy source.
Mm-hmm.
And now people have gotten so burned by that, whether it's politically or misinformation or alternative facts or fake news, whatever you want to call it, where they're now actually looking more towards it. I think people more today are willing to turn to their neighbor or someone they're with and say, what do you think? And they're willing to listen to that.
Yeah.
Something more local and more regional.
I was just going to say more relevant to the context of, okay, Wilmer, Minnesota.
Exactly.
What are y'all doing?
Right.
I just saw yesterday I got invited to a new Facebook group that was created called something around like It Takes a Village. And it's just did you see this at all?
No.
It's just people in Candioi County that are sharing like, okay, what if you don't have internet at home? Like you can certainly bring your child here, or if you don't have I have these food items, I have excess of this, like I have diapers. It's just a whole ton of people offering up ways to support one another, which I thought was really cool.
And so to outline the opportunity, I think a little more deliberately it's an opportunity right now with all the attention being paid to social media for you to put out an authentic message about how you're helping the community, how you're dealing with this, being honest about maybe struggling, but not doing it in an accusatory. Yeah.
That sounds
like
kind of right.
Yeah, maybe.
Accusatory way.
Yeah, but not accusing like politically a group of people or a person or something like that, but just putting out your true story about how your business is working or not working. And then if you're in a position, financial, medical, banking, I can think of some like that, where you actually have some sort of educated opinion or advice to put that out there in a very honest and calm way.
Right.
And people will latch on to that.
You want to talk about brand building content. That's exactly what those businesses should be doing, is sharing what they know and sharing ways to, like, they literally just want to help. And there's no better time to do it than now, when people are just yearning for it. And
what's happening right now at the outset, and this is how I think it's going to play out, people are yearning for information, to more information from trusted local sources. That's an opportunity. And then it's going to morph into, once we understand this a little more, it's going to morph into, even though we're still glued to the devices and under quarantine or locked down in some way, escapism, and then entertainment. And then you building some silly thing at your business because no one's there and making fun of, doing something creative or positive. It's going to turn into that. And there was actually a video I saw that went super viral globally that was, I don't know where it was, in Italy or France, of 2 apartment buildings that were like back to back, and kids weren't in school. So they all stood on the balconies and someone played a guitar or some instrument and they all took turns like singing to this thing. Yeah. And that went absolutely crazy. People are looking for like entertainment, escape, positivity. Right. Not negativity. Even though negativity is being shared a lot, we're like getting to this point, I think, where people are like, you know what? How can we make the best out of this? Right. Yeah. And how can you share something positive? Yeah. That just reminded me though of one thing I read that Gary Vee put out yesterday. It was like, what were advice for small businesses being affected by all this craziness. And he said, perspective, patience, and innovation. And that just reminded me right there is like, yes, it is going to require a hell of a lot of innovation that you didn't think you would have to ever really tap into, but the creativity of like, how can we get our product out into the world? Right. How can we showcase what we're doing with our staff, to help them get through this. Or how you're helping the community in a positive way. Yeah. Talk about brand building options there. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where my mind went when you said the creative side. It's not things that you were expecting to show ever on your social media channels, but that's what people are wanting to know. So you kind of got to find a way to give that to them. One thing I've seen that's been killed in the last week on social media is killed is like the look how great I am content. Look how successful I am. It's dead. It's gone. That is, which I think crazy. Is amazing. Uh-huh. And I'm into it. The kind of blind self-promotion, like, look how great I am, come and do business with us.
There's almost none of that right now, which is great because no one liked it anyway. And seriously.
Yes.
And maybe it was marginally effective, but now I think authenticity above anything else is going to help build your business or at least raise awareness for you and your brand.
Yeah. I don't know.
What else is there to say? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But for the brewery specifically, you guys have some
that's where I was going with the creativity. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, just challenges.
We've talked about all kinds of shit over the last 4 days. Even last night, I was thinking how can we deliver our beer? How could I set up a way for people to actually to process orders online? They could come in and grab something to go, of course, but there's still a big percentage of sales being lost.
That was in that tap room.
Over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we need to find new ways to make up. So there's the delivery thing. There's also the production side that isn't necessarily slowed down because you can't exactly just stop beer from, You
guys probably have orders on things that have been weeks out.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So yeah, luckily people are buying a heck of a lot of supplies from not just our tap room, which is now only to go, but liquor stores.
Yes.
So
there are going to be a lot of babies 9 months from now.
We've got a lot of beer that's going into cans.
Right.
In a couple days into 16-ounce cans that will be aggressively putting into liquor stores all across.
Good. So
across the area. Go
to West Side. Are you guys in Cashwise as well?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Go to West Side and get your Talking Waters beer, which apparently there could be a lot of crowlers and cans.
Cans and crowlers for sure. Yep.
The other thing I'll mention, the adjustment that I've made in my life is my CEO class now, and all classes are going remote.
Yep.
And my entire CEO class was built on the premise of connecting high school kids to local business people in their businesses and meeting them face to face. Well, now what do we do? And so this is where I told you earlier that I'm resurrecting the Disrupt Ed podcast. And I've reached out.
That makes sense.
I've reached out to local, because now Zoom is free to all people for the next 60 days and unlimited participants. And so I've reached out to some people locally already that have agreed to do record an episode with me and the students, so the students can log in, right? And we've agreed that they're going to type questions, or if they have some questions prepared, that we'll get to different stages in the show while we're recording it, while we're talking through their career, whatever, say, okay, we got a question from this person, they come up. Otherwise, it's a bunch of people kind of shouting.
Yep.
But then they'll kind of type in their questions live as they go. And then we're going to publish that. I'm going to publish it on my podcast. We'll publish it on our different CEO
That's
channels.
Cool. Okay.
But then in taking it as an opportunity, okay, we've toured most of the businesses on our list. We can't tour anymore, probably.
Yep.
But we can now open it up to entrepreneurs nationwide. Everyone's sitting at home looking at a device. So I've reached out to people, that are young entrepreneurs that have big followings that I think the kids would be interested in talking to. And I think I reached out to 8 people and 4 people have said yes, immediately last night. And so we're going to now do some different kind of learning, and the kids will be there to, contribute and learn along the way. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. It's crazy how much heavier we're relying on technology to get us through this.
Right.
Because everything that you just talked about was relying on these new software programs, or newish,
Yeah.
And same with how do we force people to make sales online?
Right.
Or how do we drive more online sales through all of these new
one thing I learned,
technology tools?
A little pro tip for people that are now using Zoom. When you download the Zoom program, then go into settings and you can go to video, and there's a section that says improve my look. It's literally like a checkbox. You click on it.
New.
You click on it and it
smooth out your skin.
Yeah, smooths out I was like, I look amazing.
What does it do to your head?
Well, there's not a whole lot it can do. It's not like it added locks, flowing locks to my.
All of a sudden you pop in a picture from yourself 10 years ago, and it kind of just, creates a morphed version of that.
That would be amazing. But
unnecessary.
No, but I was clicked that. I'm
oh
my gosh, it looks like a light Snapchat filter.
Oh, I like that.
And I was like, I'm definitely leaving that shit on.
I can appreciate that, Zoom.
Yeah. So that was cool. And yeah, go. this is an opportunity if you're stuck at home or with your business. You can still put out content.
Yeah.
Some of you don't have anything else to do.
Right. 100%.
Put it, make it, put it out, have it be authentic. And you know what? If you need help putting out that content, I know a local media company that's happy to help you.
We are happy to help.
So
take this as an opportunity and let's look at the positive side.
Right.
All that can be done. Now.
And there is a lot. You still have the internet. You can still connect with people. If you relied on a local place like the brewery, which is super hard, we're going to get through it.
Yeah, we are.
But
we're just going to drink our beer at home.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be consuming a bit tonight.
And this quarantine weekend ahead of us.
That's right.
Stock up. Stock up.
Grab that
Support
toilet paper
local,
and talking waters.
It's not easy.
No, definitely not. All right, thanks everyone. Stay positive out there.